Now, the next leadership model that we are going to cover is known as the path goal theory. This is when the leader helps the employee achieve a goal and minimizes or reduces or eliminates the obstacles that are in the way of helping the employee achieve their goal. Now, there are 4 leadership styles within this path goal theory. There is directive, supportive, participative, and achievement-oriented. I will discuss what these are later, but basically the leader will select the best leadership style out of the 4 that will best suit the employee's characteristics and the task and environmental characteristics as well, that will help the employee achieve their goals. Now let's look at the leadership styles. Let's start with directive. So the directive leadership style, basically the leader informs, instructs, and tells employees what to do. Now this is extremely effective in situations where an employee is inexperienced or maybe is unsure about what they should be doing or what the task at hand is. So the benefits of this leadership style is that it can help provide clarity to employees who might be unsure or uncertain about a task or who might be just inexperienced. And so those employees will respond well to a directive style. The next leadership style is supportive. Now, this type of leader likes to make work pleasant for the workers. They show concern for them by being friendly and approachable. This type of leadership style is effective when employees are struggling physically or psychologically with tasks or relationships. So you might have an employee who's struggling to lift something or to figure out something. So as a leader, you come in, you'll be like a coach and you'll support the employee by either teaching them how to do it or doing it with them until they can do it themselves. Okay? But primarily, as a supportive leader, you would expect them to try and figure out the problems themselves first before trying to intervene and support them. Now, the next leadership style is participative. This leader likes to consult employees before making decisions. Now, this is very effective when you have employees who are highly experienced, trained, and very involved in their work, or even in some cases more experienced than the leader themselves. Now, the benefits of consulting employees in making decisions is that employees will be more committed to achieving that goal because they were part of making that decision. So they will feel a sense of ownership or accountability to achieving that goal. And the 4th leadership style is known as achievement-oriented. Now, this type of leader likes to set challenging goals for the employees and expects employees to perform at their highest level, right? This type of leader shows a lot of confidence in the employee's ability to achieve a goal. Now, this type of leadership style is very useful in situations or professional technical working environments such as sales, for example, where you are seeking growth by employees going over and beyond the status quo. So you will set targets or goals with some sort of incentive or reward to help push employees to perform at their highest level. And a leader will believe that their team would be able to do so. Okay, so those are the 4 different leadership styles within the path goal theory. So how do you know which style to choose and would be best to help the employee in achieving their goal, whatever that goal might be? Now, in order to select the most suitable and appropriate leadership style for helping the employee to achieve their goal, you have to look at 2 things here. You have to look at the characteristics of the employee, which includes their need for affiliation, locus of control, and ability. Then you also have to consider task and environmental characteristics as well, which includes task structure, formal authority system, and work group. Now let's go through each one and examine what they are. Let's start with employee characteristics. So the need for affiliation is basically the employee who feels a need to belong to a group or to be a part of a group in order to perform. So, an employee with a high level of need for affiliation might prefer more of a supportive leadership style because it helps them to feel like they are a part of the team. And an employee with a low need for affiliation might be more suitable towards an achievement-oriented leadership style. Now the next one, locus of control. Locus of control is about how much control a person believes they have over things that happens to them. Now, there are two types of locus of control. There's internal locus of control and there's external locus of control. So a person who has internal locus of control believes that everything that happens to them is a result of their decisions or their actions, or they believe that they have control over everything that happens to them. A person who has external locus of control believes that everything that happens to them is outside of their control. So an employee who has internal locus of control might prefer more of a participative leadership style where they feel a part of making the decision that will affect or impact them. An employee with external locus of control might prefer more of a directed leadership style. And lastly, let's look at ability, which refers to an employee's perception of their ability to do a task well. Now, an employee with a low perception of their task ability might prefer more of a directed style, whereas an employee with a high perception of task ability might prefer more of a participative leadership style. So those are the characteristics of the employee that you need to take into consideration. Now let's look at the task and environmental characteristics. So the first one there is task structure. If a task has a lot of structure and is straightforward, step by step, what needs to be done, then you should really avoid a telling type of style or the directive style. Okay? You might use more of a participative leadership style when there is a high task structure. If there is a low structure to the task, then that's when the directive style might be more appropriate. Next is the formal authority system. Now this is referring to all the guidelines, the rules, the systems that are in place within that organization. It basically lets employees or everyone know what to do or what you're not allowed to do as well. So if the formal authority system is quite robust, strict, and straightforward, then you should really avoid a directive style. In this situation, you might use more of a participative style or a achievement-oriented style as well. But if the formal authority system is not clear, then the directive style will be appropriate. Now the last one is the work group. Now this refers to how much support an employee gets from the people around them. Now if there is low support from the group, then an employee will benefit more from a supportive leadership style. So there you have it. Those are the employee characteristics and the task and environmental characteristics that leaders will need to take into consideration when selecting the best leadership style and helping the employee to achieve their goal. So this can be a complicated theory here or model to use. So let's give you an idea of how to use this path goal theory in a practical manner. So if we're looking at it from a step-by-step process, this is basically what it would look like. So step 1, you would consider the following. You would consider the employee's characteristics. As we discussed earlier, you would consider their need for affiliation, their locus of control, and their perception of task ability. Then you would also consider the task and environmental characteristics as well. So you've got to remember to look at task structure, the formal authority system, and also their work group as well. And then once you've done that, then you have a better idea to determine which style of leadership would be suitable to help that employee achieve their goals. Then out of the 4, you will select the best. And then in step 3, you will focus on motivating or helping that employee to achieve their goals by either defining the goals a little bit more, clarifying the path, or removing the obstacles, and providing support. So this is basically an idea of how you would use this model in a practical manner.